Hello, BookTube. Who's up for a mail haul? It's not a big one, and this time I mean that, and I have a little help. So we'll start with this thing here. It's tiny. Oh, it's a mystery novel. Set in France.
How can you tell?
Oh, it's got the Space Needle right there on the cover. The Sorbon Affair, a Hugo Marston novel. By Mark Pryor, whose last book was The Paris Librarian. A murder mystery set in France. Huh? Did you ever solve a murder in France?
Not yet. I'm still working on it.
Priority title. Okay. Thanks, 7th Street Books. Actually, you and I go a long way towards determining what our priority titles are. So, don't call us. We'll call you. But who is Mark Pryor when he's at home? He's the author of The Bookseller. Oh, I read that.
According to bookgasm.com, those who love Paris and environs will thrill to the setting because it's set in Paris and environs.
American novelist Helen Hancock is in Paris to research her work in progress, teach a writing class when she discovers a spy camera hidden in her room at the luxury hotel Sorbonne.
But that's normal, though.
The French are weird, aren't they? If I were you, I'd keep my distance.
You sign a disclaimer when you check into a hotel in general.
No. I wouldn't know if that were in today's wacky topsy-turvy world. I wouldn't know if that was true. She notifies the U.S. Embassy, which dispatches former FBI profiler Hugo Marston to investigate. What's to investigate? He's investigating a camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Seems like that's the sort of thing you could do over email. This goes out in August. And it's a priority title. What have we got coming out for August? Would be the
folks at Grove. I don't know.
I'll be doing the Ron Chernow. You won't be caring about Ron Chernow's new book.
Ulysses Grant.
Yeah, Ulysses S. Grant. Ron Chernow's book, which will settle things for me one way or another, because I hated his last book and I loved the one before that. So, he's...
The rubber match. Oh. Here's a winner for Steve.
Okay, I wish this is an advanced copy of Afterglow, a dog memoir by the great Eileen Miles, and I wish that this copy had the cover, because the cover is adorable. It's her when she was like 18 years old and still smarter than anybody in the world, and the dog on the cover. This doesn't have a cover at all. The New Yorker refers to her as a kick-ass counterculture icon. Remember when they used to call you that? And you settled down, man. It used to be about the music, but you've changed. This is a dog memoir of hers, and friends of hers have been asking her to write this book forever. Prolific and widely renowned, Eileen Miles is a trailblazer whose decades of literary and artistic work set a bar for openness, frankness, and variability few lives could ever match. That's the New York Review of Books. This newest book paints a kaleidoscopic portrait of a beloved confidant, a pit bull named Rosie. I never quite know what that means, a kaleidoscopic portrait. Isn't a kaleidoscopic portrait a bad portrait?
So, people don't look at kaleidoscopes anymore. It used to be a toy that you had when you were a child, and it meant that it would
Have you ever used that word?
It would fracture the image into lots of different bits, but I don't think a kaleidoscope is a thing you buy in a toy shop anymore. So that's one of those adjectives that's going to...
It's outlived its own time.
It's only going to make sense in the context of book reviewing, and no one's going to understand what the original meaning was.
All right. Well, this comes out in mid-September. I'm hoping that I will get an advanced copy with cover art and then the finished copy, so it won't be the last time that you hear about it. So, a book set in France and a book about dogs. Talk about a spy camera somewhere. Let's see. Oh, the next one's 2. The next one's 2. Let's see what we have here. Uh-oh. Oh, goodness.
You can pronounce those authors' names if you like.
Well, one of them I'll have a lot of help because I know that quite a few of you are from beautiful Poland. And that has got to be this guy, Wojciech Nowicki. Here, let me show you that. That is the name of our author. This time around, the book is Salki. Comes out in mid-June. Translated from the Polish by J. Pitalski. From the people at Open Letter. They get our mail, we get their mail. They weren't so good. I'd hate them. There is Wojciech Nowicki. Here he is there. Couldn't be bothered to shave for his author photo, but that's all right. So this looks like it's going to be fiction in translation. You're pulling ahead here. And the other one is Thomas Johnson, bestseller. That's the name of the book. And the author is Gudberger Bergson. And it's translated from the Icelandic by Lytton Smith. So this is international fiction. That's what Open Letter does, right? They do,
Yes.
they do international fiction.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. So, so about Salki, one blurb says, it all blends her unexpectedly. That past and memory with the present and space, your skin will crawl with pleasure from reading. I don't want to read that.
No.
This is his first book to be translated into English. It's a work that defies categorization. Ever read a book that defied categorization?
I haven't, but I've used that line a few times.
Yes. So have I, but it's a total lie. There's no book that defies categorization. That just means you're lazy. That's all.
Unless the category is kaleidoscopic, then it would work.
The night before leaving a Gotland writer's retreat, the narrator of Salki lies awake thinking about reefus fever, the fear and anxiety that comes from travel. But rather than having this condition restrict him to his hometown, never see the world, he's found that, paradoxically, the only real solution is traveling.
This is a tribute to Georges Perec. So those of you who like Georges Perec.
But viewers of my channel aren't allowed to like him because he stinks. All right, well, this comes out in mid-June. How about...
It has a blurb from your favorite
oh, goodness
Icelandic
gracious.
writer.
Oh, goodness gracious. It has a blurb from Sijan.
Shion.
Shion, oh, pardon me. Goodness gracious. Talentless twat. And this also comes out in mid-July. And this is about a writer? So these are both about writers?
One of 10 people in Iceland has written a novel.
How many people live in Iceland? Not many. Right?
I don't know.
Flip your copy open to any page and you'll realize immediately that you're encountering a novel that, like Ulysses, rewrote the rules of what a novel can do. Sounds like a challenge to me. Let's pick a random page. It's stacked prose in italics. No paragraphs. No capitalization of the beginning of lines. No punctuation between lines. I'm going to punt this one to you. I am sure that in mid-June, when these two gems come out, there will be some 800-page work on the Crimean War that will require my attention. So, all right, let's move on. This does end with a box, by the way. This little mail haul. What? Oh, very nice. All right, this is a big book from Harvard, and it comes out today, and it's Corporations and American Democracy. Nice big thick thing. Very nice. Edited by Naomi Lamoureux and William Novak. She's a professor of history at Yale, and he's a professor of law at the University of Michigan. And this is it couldn't be more relevant. I'm sure that why did they edit it though? Is this a collection of pieces? Oh, it is. Okay, yeah. So this was probably in the works for a long time. They might not have foreseen what the world would be like in 2017, but it couldn't be any more relevant. Recent U.S. Supreme Court decisions in Citizens United and other high-profile cases have sparked passionate disagreement about the proper role of corporations in American democracy. Citizens United was on its face lunacy. So that a corporation is a person. It is on its face lunacy. And that's the plain text reading of that ruling. And no one's bothered to push it. And because it's lunacy. And everybody knows it is. Everybody knows it was bought and paid for. So no one's bothered to push the limits of what Citizens United actually says in law, which is that GlaxoSmithKline can adopt a baby. Or just let it run around in the halls of the office because it's a person. I ranted in the middle of the call sheet, and then the partisans on both sides have made bold claims, often with little basis in historical facts. Bringing together leading scholars of history, law, and political science, Corporations in American Democracy provides the historical and intellectual grounding necessary to put today's corporate policies in proper context.
Well, there's going to be a lot of progressive era stuff. There's going to be a lot of Roosevelt and Taft in that, one would think.
He's tweaking me because of my love of William Howard Taft, and perhaps because he noticed that William Howard Taft is on the cover of the book.
There he is.
There he is. It's a cartoon about how he looks the other way while corporations take over his world. So actually, let's. This is a finished copy. Let's see how much he's in here. Oh, your precious de Tocqueville's in here.
It says Taco Bell.
Yeah, well, let's have some here. That's good anyway. Great. Wow, fantastic. All right. So this is weirdly breaking as a mail haul. We got two rotten pieces of contemporary fiction that he has to deal with. We got a book about dogs. We got a book set in France. We got a book with William Howard Taft on the cover. The seesaw is wildly veering back and forth. What will this last one be? Will there be a clear winner?
Not a book at all.
No, it won't be a book at all. It's a gigantic Hershey bar. No, let's see. Oh, no, it's neither of us. All right. All right, this is the finished copy of something I think we've seen on this channel before. The finished copy is rather nice. Paranoid Science by Anthony Alumkal. And the subtitle is The Christian Right's War on Reality. This is NYU Press. This is soon. This is May. And this is the finished copy. It's not going to have any pictures or anything, but it's nice. And it's all about what the subtitle says. The recent executive order from the White House, the religious freedom executive order that the fine print of which allows teachers to throw out science and start teaching creationism, to start teaching literal young Earth 7-day creationism in science class. Start telling students who are 10 years old that evolution isn't real and that everything is created magically by an unseen being that can talk to you in your head. And if you were to respond by saying, well, okay, if that's true, as I've mentioned on this channel before, if that's true, then why would a bobcat have anything genetically in common with a dragonfly? And yet they're 60% identical. So why would they be that? Why would they have anything in common? If they're all created magically out of nothing, why wouldn't a bobcat be entirely bobcat? Why wouldn't a celery be entirely celery? And the way that we know that they're not is because we can examine them on the cellular level. And what does that, if that executive order were ever to become law of the land, which it easily could, it's a majority in America, if that were to become the law of the land, the idea wouldn't be that anybody would say, well, those cellular findings are wrong. Instead, the idea would be, let's smash the microscopes. We don't want to know it. I haven't read the advanced copy of this, but this is going to infuriate me. And I will write about it. All right, well, there you go. There's Paranoid Science. Huh. Well, they got a blurb from somebody at Baylor University. Good Lord. All right. Okay, so this veered all over. So we have We have Paranoid Science about Christian Wright teaching young Earth creationism in schools, your kids' schools, and also teaching that that we can't fool around with biology, with cellular biology. That's God's province. So I'm not going to vaccinate my kid for measles or rubella or whooping cough, and my kid goes to school with your kid. So you might say, on your Park Slope address, you might say, well, if some people in the hinterlands don't believe in science, that's no skin off my nose. But no, one of those kids on one of your plane flights, and all of a sudden it will be your problem and your kid's problem. Because your kid doesn't have natural immunities against diseases that were conquered 2 generations ago. So, and you can die of these things. I started ranting again. Sorry. All right, so Paranoid Science. I will get this all out of my system in a nice long review to make my word for it. Corporations in American Democracy with William Howard Taft on the cover. Then 2 translated books, one from the Icelandic and one from, what was the other one?
Polish.
From the Polish, that's right. Then Afterglow, a dog memoir. And then the Sorbon Affair, a mystery set in France. This, aside from these open letter things, there's really nothing in here that would ever show up on your calendar.
No.
And would these?
Well, I'll look at them, of course.
All right, there you go, BookTube. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.